The separation has begun, feeling this in the unified field. Greetings, my dearest ones. You faithful, devoted beings, joining one another and all of us in this amazing and auspicious now moment, I am honored to be in your company. And I am delighted to have this time to share with you some reflections on the current context in which you find yourselves, and hopefully encourage you. Smile. So many of you are waiting. Waiting for life to pop open. Waiting for your path to be clear. Waiting to be free to move forward with all of your visions of life on this new, emerging, planet Earth. Not waiting as in holding back, waiting, as in being in alignment, tuning into, looking for, anticipating with joy. This feeling of expectancy exists for us, as well as for you. Although in our experience it is because we are tracking with you, living through your experience and understanding the challenges you face and blending our energies and perspectives, responding when called upon and extending our field into yours to lighten the load. We desire to lighten the load whenever and wherever we can. Still, these are indeed times which feel constricted and a narrowing is occurring. Those who choose to allow their activation process to go forward. Those who welcomed the invitation to shift into a new orientation of living. Those who welcome the finer energies into their vessel, who are willing to release all that does not fit, who are willing to allow the inner wisdom of their bodies and their soul to lead them, those of you are. I see a bridge and it's narrower than the land on which it begins and ends, and I see many of us walking on it. It's very interesting. The bridge doesn't look very long, and yet we have been walking on it for a while, yet we're each in our own space aware of one another and yet in our own spaces. It's not even like we're walking, we're not trudging across this bridge or we're moving across it, not walking. Actually there is simply an image of us moving, or even being moved across this bridge, yes. And as you move across this bridge, so to speak, a commitment is made. It would be very difficult to go backward. You could stop, and yet already you are no longer in the world in which you used to live. You are feeling totally good, certain about moving across this dimensional bridge, and yet, as you do so, strings of energy between you and others are felt stretched and strained. This is the pulling feeling too that you have in your heart, a sense of being separated from even a sense of self, for you were and are part of the existing unified field of the planet Earth as it was, and as you move into the space of the new Earth there is a narrowing of the connection between the two. It is not being cut off, this connection between the two at this time, but the separation is already underway. Last September there is a divide and this was the initial separation. And since that time, many who for all practically purposes leapt across and joined us in the new Earth have discovered that they are disoriented and they have also experienced much that has challenged them. The physical demands of living in this new space are, for the physical body, significant, and those who embraced and moved in this direction earlier had completed much of the most extreme period of isolation and mutation already. As such, when the new beings arrived in this space in which they were led by those they love, by and large by their inner selves, they discovered a still significant gap between where they landed and where many others were. This too creates that pulling feeling. There is tremendous space in the new Earth at this time. Much is being laid in as foundational energies, and as you continue to spend more and more time in higher vibrating energy yourselves, your blending becomes increasingly sophisticated. Meaning, your blending with all that is in the energy of the new Earth and those aspects of Source who are part of this emergent field, is becoming more harmonious and at the same time more specific. Details are becoming clearer, and as you become more clear and certain as to your desired expression, as being beautifully interpreted based on your function and the needs of the space in which you now increasingly are, those who are also blending are also informed. And they adjust and recreate their own expression to further harmonize and co-create with you, with all of you, a space that fulfills the expression of your frequencies and vibrations. It is a beautiful sight indeed, sight as in place, and in view. Smile. As such, when you are oriented toward this blending, you feel profoundly alive and enabled. This gives fullest expression to your function that you, as yet, have experienced in your human-anchored perspectives. Joy, joy, joy. It is so full of joy. When you are in contact with one another, when you encounter the shimmering and radiant thought forms, creations, energies of one another. Then this call to sing, to add your unique voice as function and frequency to the composition, is experienced, and the opening in which you easily flow and respond to this call feels effortless and natural to you. Joyful and love-filled. Perfect and exalted. Elevated and soaring. Love-filled and resplendent. There are not enough strong words, dear one, to say how good it feels. You know what I mean, dear ones, and I say to you, this is what is to come. This is what is to come. This and more is what is to come. Do not despair. This is your natural state, and you will increasingly be in this way. Amen. I hear it. Yes, I hear your hearts say amen, so be it. And I agree. Does that feel good? I hope so. So stay the course, my beautiful ones. Know that nothing in your unfolding will inhibit this transition to higher dimensional experience for you at this time. The transition is already underway, and the separation is what makes you feel heavy, sad, stuck, and limited. Again, it's like threads being finely stretched between those of you on the bridge and all that has been an intimate part of you which is not coming forward at this time. For it is so innately part of you to be connected to so many diverse aspects of being who are not coming forward at this time. Some have not yet chosen to participate, or to participate in a different way. The alignment within their experience has not arrived, which will give them the ease and connection to a sense of purpose which takes them into activation. For some, their purpose lies still in understanding duality, for they are gaining much experience that is of benefit to their overall perspective. And many of them also latecomers intentionally, so that they might bring up the rear, so to speak, in ministering to the many beings who are willingly experiencing hardship and dramatic and sudden natural disasters, and whose experiences which are assisting the opening of the unified heart energies of the planet. All is well. In order that these energies might allow as much supportive fine vibrating light from the universe and source into your sphere, thereby supporting and continuing the mutation process within you that are activated and in various stages of completion, these beings are playing their own perfect part in the overall orchestration of the ascension event. This event is continually created, based on each perspective's participation, blending, choice and inner alignment or lack of. Do not be disturbed. Do not be disturbed by any of this or by these many contrasting energies in the field. Settle yourselves. Align with your own light body energy, your Merkaba, the unified energies of you in this physical incarnation, which when one, can perfectly support your movement into the dimension which is now the choice of your soul, your heart, and increasingly your point of focus in awareness. As you identify increasingly with this narrative, and also attune to your physical body, so keenly and articulately informed and in simultaneous communication with the now point of view listening and reading this message, your body, your awareness together, you will be perfectly led. Trust in your own life. That is all you need do. Know that your own connection to everything will never let you down. That would be impossible. Awaken as is your way, enjoy the uniqueness of your path and the particular location you find yourself in from moment to moment. For all of this will pass in your terms, and the new beginning will no longer be the new beginning, it will simply be. Don't miss the experience. I am forever in your service. Know and feel that you are profoundly and deeply loved, appreciated, protected, and your experiences are enjoyed by all that is in me. Smile. I leave you in peace. I am the Archangel Michael.